Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this monthly ADR chat session. The purpose of today is to answer any questions that you guys might have. And so it is really about you. There's not a presentation today, but we do have Teresa and Robert with us. Teresa works in South Africa. Robert works in the Netherlands. The chat session is, because of the nature of the register, is in both English and Dutch. So I'll be doing the introduction in Dutch as well. We're recording this, so if you want to get back to it, if you want to watch it back, it's not a problem. I'm just going to do a quick introduction in Dutch, and then we're going to get started answering your questions. Dus, goedemorgen iedereen. Welkom bij deze maandelijkse ADR chat sessie. Het doel van vandaag is om jullie vragen te beantwoorden. We hebben geen presentatie vandaag. Dus het is echt meer wat jullie willen weten van ons, of jullie ergens mee zitten. Daar gaan we dan vandaag in. We doen het vandaag in de Zoom, dus jullie kunnen allemaal je microfoon aanzetten. Dus als we het allemaal geordend houden, dan gaat het wel prima. We nemen het ook op vandaag. Dus als jullie terug willen kijken, is dat geen enkel probleem. Yeah, the one thing I want to add before we get started, we're doing this today with Zoom, and it's just a regular meeting. So you can just unmute your microphone and talk to one of us. And as long as we keep it ordered, we can run through all your questions. And if you guys want to discuss anything, then that's not a problem. With that, I'm not sure if Teresa or Robert want to say anything, but that's my introduction. And we can also get started based from that. So yeah, what do you guys want to know? Is er iets wat jullie willen weten? Of hebben jullie vragen? Is there anything that you want to ask or something you've encountered that you might want to discuss?
It's nice seeing some new faces here. Welcome everyone. We're cold in South Africa. I know you're quite warm in the Netherlands, so at this point we're not really loving you, but it's okay. We also sent out this morning actually to this group that we're trying to assist you with creating your own brand. And I've actually just sent Giel the example, Giel, if you wanted to share it on your screen.
Yeah, not a problem.
Of what we're doing. So if you need help, we can assist. Giel's going to share that now.
Should be it. 1 second.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only seeing. Is everyone seeing this? Yeah. Okay, great. So what we're doing is we're creating a template, or we have created a template, and you need to send us your information, your photo, your specialisms, so that we can create a template for you, if you want. Once you've done that, we're charging a very small nominal amount for the creation of the template. We then will also add it to our social media, to Facebook and LinkedIn and all the other places we possibly can. But this will at least give you something to use, to send out to people, or to add to your, Facebook, LinkedIn, whichever social media you use. So that's something that we started creating now with last week, and it seems to be working. We are already putting it on our social media on the coaching side, but we haven't done the ADR side yet. So if you're interested, just let me know. In the newsletter you received this morning, my email address, or the email address is there, that we then forward everything to the designer to use. Because it became clear from the chat sessions like this one, that everyone needs something to send out. So we're trying to help where we can with that.
Teresa?
Yes, Jackie?
Is
Hi,
this
Jackie.
done in public? Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
Good morning. Is it done in Publisher, or is it PDF, or is it
You will get
a template?
You will get a JPEG and a PDF. So you can use it in both formats.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, good idea. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Can you do it in different colors, Teresa? I think for the ADR we were pretty set on orange, but I think we could do it in different colors, couldn't we?
We can. That's good. It isn't sort of orange, isn't it? I know I'm colorblind, but
No, it is an orange, which is the register colors. But if you want it in a different one or two
yes,
sets,
yeah, we could
then it
change.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
shouldn't be
Oh, I think that's nice because it creates a standard look. But
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that was the idea. I mean, for the coach register, I don't know the people who are familiar. That one's green, obviously, because
Yes.
that register's color is green. But just send us a mail, and I'm sure we should be able to work it out.
Give you an example of the coach one as well.
In the meantime, look, either through the chat or just unmuting yourself, if there's anything you want to know, because that's really the purpose of today. Then us three, we can get into it. And usually these things also end up in a discussion between the people who've joined themselves. So yeah, feel free to ask it anything that if you want to know it.
Teresa, can I ask something?
Yeah.
Yes, sure, Willie.
First of all, thank you for that. That's very motivating. I will definitely make use of that.
Perfect.
And secondly, Giel, I love your background. It's a good example of a good background. Just
Robert
get a spin on everything, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, I just want to ask a question. I'm quite happy to Teresa to take this offline, but I mean, just as a general question, I'm very much into coaching, and recently I got a few mediation situations from a corporate perspective where I was doing corporate mediation, but also recently working through attorneys where they actually ask me to help them to solve the problems between clients. So, but in that case, 2 or 3 cases wasn't exactly like a full-fledged separate mediation and then through the courts. It was actually me helping the attorney to get resolution with their clients, which was actually quite successful. So in that way, I took myself out of the legal processes. I was just the mediator, right? So my question is, going forward for myself, if but because of the 9 March 41A
Yes.
support, you know, I just want to make sure if I'm 100%, you know, like a member participating with ADR and I'm registered with ADR, is it necessary that I also need to be, from a regulatory point of view, be a member of SAM or any other South African organization? Is ADR enough support for me if I start moving more towards full-fledged mediation with the courts, for example? So is ADR enough, or must I be a member also of SAM or other entities? But I mean, we can take this offline. It's just a general question for now, all right?
According to us, no, you don't have to be a member of SAM to be able to, you know, to go to courts. We are also talking to the court annexed people. We're also trying to, you know, to work with the other bodies in South Africa and trying to find a structure that's more becoming for everyone in the process. Because Robert Willie focuses on family law. I'm right, Willie, if I say that, hey, you're more on the family.
Yeah, more family. You know, I did Jackie O'Brien's course way back, also with the other lady on the picture. I actually also did a few mediations with her. You know, Alan Bird. So I and Alan Bird work together from time to time. But I just want to make sure I'm covered from a legislative.
No, you're definitely covered, yeah.
Because especially with the courts, you know, because maybe one of the clients come back and say, now they want the official, maybe mediator's report from me. So if they want the court, want the official mediator's report, I'm right there, I am, you know, ADR, whatever. So I just want to make sure that I'm from a legal perspective covered as a mediator.
Yes, you are. You're not the only one that is registered only with us and not some of the other bodies that are doing court annexed work. So you're definitely covered.
I'm glad to hear that, because then I don't have to be members of other places. I can just, you know, be a member of ADR and build my practice around that. And that will actually will be very great for me. So thank you for clarifying.
It's a pleasure.
No problem. Ook voor de mensen die hier zitten vanuit Nederland. Als jullie iets willen weten. Robert kennen jullie ongetwijfeld waarschijnlijk. Dus hij kan ook de vragen beantwoorden. Dus ja, eigenlijk is dat wel. As for someone asked what the cost was for the practitioner profile, so I think I'm right in saying that was 300 Rand.
Yes, it's 300 rand or 300 euro. Yeah,
30 euro, not 3.
30 euro.
30 euro.
Sorry. 300 euro would be great,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, 30
I
euro.
don't know.
I mean, if we're willing to do it for that, it's cutting the cost.
Now, I'm sure the designer would be fantastically happy this morning if I tell him that, but no.
No, it's yeah, 30 euros to 300 rand. Okay.
See, we have quite a few people that have joined and are very quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's important in the meantime, Teresa, we're also planning a couple more webinars
Yes.
on, for example, Rule 41 and a bunch of other things.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say now. Yes.
And also in Dutch. I'm not sure if you want to say anything else about that.
Yes, no, we haven't. I will have a list today of the new webinars that will be accessible to everyone. It will be content based, and if you have any suggestions on webinars that you would like, please let us know, and we'll find people to host them.
Teresa, can I just ask something again? Sorry for
Yes,
talking too
no
much.
problem.
On the Rule
That's why
41.
this is yeah. Yes, so
Yeah, maybe do a webinar on the Rule 41A as soon as possible. For example, I had a case now where I was initiated, well, I was involved as a mediator initially, and then he never went the mediation route. So I actually became a coach for the one client. So now I can't be the mediator as well, so I'm fine with that. But in this specific case, the client I'm coaching in terms of going forward with his divorce now, as a coach, not as a mediator, basically has a history. There is a couple of criminal elements attached to it. So basically, I told him about the Rule 41A, and he was very glad about that, and immediately ran to his attorneys and to the other attorneys. And then the other attorney just mentioned or reminded the other attorney, but let's take note, there's a criminal case against you. In such a case, Rule 41 apparently is even not applicable. So there might be a good thing if we unpack the Rule 48A and to make sure that we don't have confusion in the marketplace that it's just a must, you know, it's like more like a voluntary still anyway, but at least a judge will ask the parties, you know, has you considered it? You know, that's about the has you consider it. But if there's a criminal reality to it, then of course it's not that straightforward, then it need not to be considered or something like that. So maybe as a topic, let's unpack the Rule 41A. I think it's, and we need to have also a good communication to the public on that, because nobody knows about it. It just happened on the 9th of March, just before lockdown. So nobody knows, even attorneys doesn't know about it. Some attorneys.
So it's interesting, the attorneys are now waking up to the fact that the rule has changed, yes. But I'll have some in the next 2 weeks that will unpack it for us, as you said.
That will be very great. Thank you.
Yes, I think, Billy, like you said, there's not that much on it. Even just if you Google it, there's not that much explanation for it. So what we're just trying to do is find the right person, because then when we set it on YouTube, in that sense, it's also a good public resource. Because we're going to do it as a presentation. So we just want to find the right person and then structure the presentation correctly as well to make sure that we cover all the bases.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different than other webinars where we just kind of get someone and let them do their thing. Because in this case, we really want to make sure to knock it out of the park, to make sure it's a useful resource for everyone.
And if it goes along with the current the marketing effort, I would say, it can be a good double whammy thing. You know, we advertise who we are, this ADR, that's what we do. This is the new rule, and even attorneys didn't know it, you know, so I can sort of try to combine it with a marketing effort, which might maybe we go well.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Thanks, Billy.
Yes, if there's anything as well, if you want to know something about your registration, or just about the ADR register, or just something that you're running into in your practice, I think you saw that from Billy as well. You know, it's really not a problem, and if you can use the chat as well, so you don't need to open your microphone, and then we'll just run through it.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's Alex here from the RICS. How's everyone today? I hope good. Just on the rule, I can assist in that. So Teresa, if you want to take that offline, please contact me. I don't think there'll be conflict of interest. We have done something similar for our members. So we're happy to share or collaborate in some way.
Thanks, Alex.
No, it might be an idea if we do the webinar, we can just have multiple people and then just covering different bases. So we'll see. But Teresa, I think you'll pick that up. About the profile, we have one question in the chat. Teresa, what do you need as information for the profile? Can someone just send you, for example, the support document, or I mean, what do you need? I think it's just text, right? Because most things are in the
text. So I basically need a high-res photo. You know, something that's really good enough to be able to use. It's normally about 600 dpi around there. Then I need just a short blurb of about 100 words, 150 words on who you are, what you do, and then your specialisms. You know, what fields do you specialize in? Because when I started going through our register and the websites, trying to find someone to work off, it's actually, when I look at our register, we add the photos when we can, and when we find photos, and all the links to LinkedIn and Google and your websites. But so many of the profiles on our registers are incomplete because there's no photos, there's no blurbs, or a write-up on who you are and what you do. We can add specialisms for you if you make us aware of that, because that's something we have to do. So I need a photo, I need specialisms, and I need a short write-up. And then I will tell the designer whether in full or associate qualified, certified, and then that's all we need. But it's a good photo. I actually sent it to you, Giel. If you also look at the ICR one, I don't know if you can share that one.
Yeah, no problem.
Because that's a very nice example of a really good photo that Linus did for us. That one, yes. So, I mean, the better the photo is, the more appealing the profile is as well. So if you look at it, it's really it's 100-word short on what you do, what you focus on, and then your specialisms. That's all we need. It's not a lot of work to send through to us. And you can also then carry this forward to your profile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. And so while we're just waiting, the one thing that Robert mentioned that it's a good idea to introduce. One of the things we're doing with the ADR Register is we're launching a new initiative called the ADR Platform. And the idea behind it is that we see that, especially with things like Rule 41A, there's a need for a regulatory framework about how you can approach ADR. How can you finally get it into the legal system that it doesn't clash, but it is implemented effectively. And we've seen that, especially with our experience in Europe, many different countries have tried. And whilst we know it's an effective technique, it isn't being used as effectively. So we're slowly going to start rolling that out. We'll send you a mailing on that as well. And the idea is really to start lobbying and to engage in discussion. So if you want to be, if you're interested in discussing with us how we see regulation being done for ADR and how we see it being done for mediation, feel free to reach out to us, and we will end up starting webinars about that to get into a discussion with you as well, to get your opinions on it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, look, I mean, if anyone still wants to know anything, then again, like we said, we're more than happy to answer it. And if we don't have any particular topics that we feel the need to discuss, except perhaps the introduction. Esther?
Yes, I've got a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can do it in English. I've got a question about... Mag ook in Nederlands? Oh, helemaal goed. Ik heb een vraagje over pre-mediation. Wat wij zien is dat mediation vaak voor sommigen net even een stap te ver is. En dat we graag vooraf in gesprek willen gaan. Dat kan, alleen dan zit ik een beetje met de formats die dan gebruikt worden. Het is geen volledige mediation, maar er moet wel wat worden vastgelegd. Dus ik ben eigenlijk op zoek naar een soort van format wat wel de lading dekt, maar wat niet zo zwaar is als een hele mediation overeenkomst.
Ja. Robert, die ga ik aan jou doorgeven.
Daar is... Oh.
Oké, goedemorgen. Mijn naam is...
Is het commercieel of...
Nou, niet, het kan en.
Ik zal het toelichten. Ik denk sowieso dat er een aantal begrippen door elkaar heen lopen in Nederland. Preventieve mediation, preventive mediation en pre-mediation, dus voor mediation. Het zijn denk ik twee verschillende dingen. Aanhakend op jouw vraag. Het is aan jou om het als een voorgesprek in te richten zonder dat het mediation is. Of je sluit een mediation overeenkomst over dit specifieke onderwerp. Gebruikelijk is dat je het eerst doet. Het is geen mediation, maar je gaat een voorgesprek aan en dan komt er een verslag.
Ja.
Wat je in de internationale wereld veel ziet, is dat men zegt, we organiseren een pre-mediation conference, wat feitelijk een voorgesprek is, waarbij je nagaat, is het mediabel en zijn partijen geschikt? En wat je ook veel ziet, als het bijvoorbeeld om familiemediation gaat, is dat het MIAN-format wordt toegepast. Mediation Information Assessment Meeting. Dat is ook wat voorafgaat aan het proces. Eigenlijk is pre-mediation, zoals jij het nu benoemt, vermoedelijk een gestructureerde intakefase. Om na te gaan, wat willen de partijen precies? Zijn er andere stappen nog nodig voordat ik überhaupt aan een mediation kan beginnen?
Nou, het is meer, wij doen heel veel mediation bij verzuimtrajecten. Dus op het moment dat inderdaad verzuimen, het reintegratietraject spaak loopt. Maar wat we eigenlijk willen is dat op het moment dat het ernaar uitziet dat een medewerker langer ziek blijft, dat je eigenlijk al voordat het hele reintegratietraject gaat beginnen met elkaar om de tafel gaat zitten en afspraken maakt over nou, hoe gaan we ervoor zorgen dat de reintegratie op een positieve manier gaat verlopen. In plaats van dat we na een half jaar vechtende mensen hebben.
Belangrijk in dit verband van onze kant is, we zijn nu bij het ADR Register. Wij hebben meerdere coaches. Arbiter, conflictcoach, mediator, negotiator. Wat je nu specifiek aanduidt, en dat is zo herkenbaar, is dat we iets mediation willen noemen wat geen mediation is.
Klopt.
Partijen vragen, zeker in jouw wereld, bij deze setting, vragen om een goed gesprek waarin afspraken gemaakt worden. In onze optiek is dat negotiation, dus bemiddeling, waarbij je mediation vaardigheden toepast, die leiden tot een afsprakenlijst.
Ja.
Dus voel je vrij om als ADR practitioner te doen wat we regelen in de proces- en procedurevereisten, namelijk kies een rol, een proces en een procedure.
Ja.
Maak daar je overeenkomst op en het staat jou helemaal vrij om in dit geval te zeggen, mijn rol is negotiator, het proces is negotiation, al dan niet specifiek volgens een bepaalde partij. Dan kom je dus bij de procedure uit, denk aan een UWV en dat soort zaken.
Ja.
En benoem dan dat je mediation vaardigheden toepast, maar dat het geen mediation is.
Ja.
For the people in the English language, it's relevant to explain that we are the ADR Register and we're not only available for mediators. We also identify arbitration, conflict quotient, mediation and negotiation. And we want you to follow the code of conduct and the process and procedure requirements. And in the process and procedure requirement, it is arranged that you identify upfront for your principles, your role, your process, and your procedure. So if you do a strict mediation, it's obvious that your role is mediator, the process is mediation, and the procedure might be the procedure within your company, or you follow the procedure of a professional body, or you follow the procedure of a franchise company, whatever. What I want to mention is if it is not a mediation, feel free to say, for example, okay, my role is negotiator, the process is negotiation, and within the procedure, I add mediation skills and mediation knowledge and things like that, but it's not a formal mediation. It is my belief, and it is the belief of ADR Register, that this is one of the huge benefits of being registered and certified with ADR Register, because you can select your own role, process and procedure within your scope of certification.
Ja,
I
dankjewel.
for everybody.
Mag ik daar nog, Esther?
Ja.
Ik ken dit gebeuren en ik noem het intermediair ingrijpende levensgebeurtenissen.
Oké.
En ik heb voor werkgevers en werknemers het Phoenix-gesprek ontwikkeld. Waar je dus ook een stukje voortraject volgt, omdat er vaak een gebeurtenis aan vooraf gaat. Vaak vanuit privé-settings. Dus ja, intermediair verbindend zijn.
Ja,
dus
dat is
misschien
inderdaad...
dat we daarover nog buiten de sessie verder kunnen.
Ja, graag.
Uiteraard.
Dankjewel.
Do you hear me?
Samuel, you have a question? Did you? Sorry, I thought you put your hand up. So yeah, we can hear you. I'll try it again in a second. Teresa, construction adjudication. Do we have anything construction? I'm just going to talk to Sam because I'm not sure if he can hear us. But do we have that? Yeah.
Do you hear me now?
That's good.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Perfect.
Probably this is causing the problem. I do not know if this question has already been addressed, but I'm currently a certified associate of the ADR. I'm working towards full certification. In my profile and the documentation screen, it looks like it's not well open for me because I understood that I needed 15 points to become fully certified. However, the question is, after I've been able to come up with those 15 points, how do I present them? To whom do I send them to? Because I just couldn't have any room at all that would give me the room to put it down like the on my profile section in the ADR website.
Okay, thanks, Samuel. I will explain this process. What we are talking about is what we call, in our words, a recertification audit. And we identify two recertification audits. We have the recertification from associate to full, and we have, based on periods, the recertification of the full certified. So we are talking now about the recertification for the associate level to the full level.
Okay.
The audit is handled by office operation, and you forward all relevant information and documents per email or per WeTransfer. And what you need to forward is the proof that you completed your CPD point. So if you refer to points, we call it the CPD points, continuing professional development.
Yeah.
So you simply determine how many years you were associate. Suppose you were 3 years associate, then you need 36 points for the 3 years period as you were associate. A point is 1 clock hour. And all activities, scope related, are qualifying as CPD. If an activity is not scope related, it might be that it is facilitating or assisting your practice. For example, to make it clear, you take a language course because you need that language for operating a certain mediation. It's obvious that it is not scope related, but as it is assisting and facilitating your mediation practice, we say it qualifies as CPD. So that's one element. The other element is you need to show proof that you did within your associate period 15 client assignments. And it's up to you to prove that you did. So for example, you can send us a list with details. And if you say, oh, well, I consider that as confidential, an alternative is you ask your accountant to give a statement that out of your administration, the proof is shown to him that you did 15 or more client assignments. So it's up to you to prove you did 15 client assignments.
That's fine with me. I think I will have more than enough proof when it gets to that point. So yes. Then to whom do I present? To yourself? To the...
No. You simply send it, you send it by email or WeTransfer to office operations. So you send it to the email address info@adr-register.com and they will confirm it is received. They will do the audit If there are findings, you will be informed about the findings and you have to correct them. If there are no findings, they will upgrade. Relevant to mention that to the recertification audit associated to full, no costs are involved, so it's included in the annual registration fee.
Yeah. And Robert,
one thing to add, if you are a mediator and you want to change your associate level to full as a mediator, in addition, you must do a skills test. You can do it live, you can do it over a video, or you can pass the mentorate, but you have to show proof that you have enough mediation skills. So that's added to the requirements.
Yeah. And Robert, pro bono cases count as well, right? Towards those points.
Yes, definitely. Pro bono cases count. The only thing we audit, did you identify your role, your process and procedure? And it's not relevant if it is paid or pro bono.
Okay, so we have a question, but it's more of a general discussion topic. Stella asks from all of you, so maybe whoever has experience is willing to share, whether how they've been doing online mediation, if at all, and been using tools like Zoom, and whether online mediation and Zoom and using those things is effective. So if anyone has any experience they want to share with that, I think it's great from our side, because we've been using this for a while now, internally as well. It works fantastically. Jacqueline?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I've got my earphones. Okay. I've done 2 divorce media via Zoom. Goes perfectly. Goes very, very well. If the parties are open to it, then it's a breeze. And I've done 1 commercial mediation via Zoom. Totally different setup altogether, because you work with breakaway. And yeah, that was something getting used to. But the parties are very, what's the word? They understand that we're all in the same boat going online. It's strange for everyone. So as long as you're just professional and relaxed and sort of also shown your vulnerability regarding this whole new process, my experience has been that people are very open and okay with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the commercial one was daunting, but it went well.
Yeah, definitely check up front and prepare a bit. Make sure your internet connection works, that your camera and everything is set up. So just test it up front. Make sure you have the right setup and make sure that it's all perfect. And otherwise, for your clients, it might be useful that you give them some instructions, perhaps an A4, or you find a website and you just send them to that to make sure that you can facilitate for them how to actually use that platform. And aside from that, yeah, it's as easy as just setting it up and getting started. And the specific techniques, I mean, we've seen, at least in the past couple of months, from our feedback, not necessarily here, but in general, that we've seen plenty of practitioners doing it, and it works quite well, at least for them. We've seen.
Yeah, perhaps good to add. What we did understand from the field is that it is relevant to have a system operational in which you can create breakout rooms. So you can have the caucus sessions with the parties if you need them or they want it. That's a relevant tip. And another relevant tip is, if you're not familiar yourself yet with ICT, facilitate yourself with a moderator. So ask someone to handle your Zoom surroundings, your Zoom cloud and the breakout rooms. So you're not involved with technique yourself while acting as a mediator. It gives you time and it saves you energy, etc., etc. So I think those are relevant tips out of the field coming into office operation here.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any experiences that they want to share?
Well, recently I just had an intake, a couple of, I'm working with the Beta Bureau. And so just a few weeks ago, we had the neighbors, the intake, what we call the intake break. So, and it went well with the Zoom. And I think we followed it up with the bemiddling itself, the mediation itself. So we are yet to handle that as a full mediation, but the intake was almost the same when we handled it with these neighbors.
Yeah. Willy, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I can also add to what Jackie said. Definitely, it works very well, actually. I would still say it's not ideal. Give it a 90%. But then again, remember that I think our brains are adapting to the new environment. So the clients who are Zooming is also now used to Zoom as well. So it's not really that big issue. It's still not the best, but it's definitely better than just a telephone. I had a client here where I didn't do a Zoom with them, but I had them at my home office. And it was a reality where I told them that we can only leave here when we got an agreement. And it started 6 o'clock and they left at night at 10 o'clock after 4 hours, because I said to them, listen, if we leave now, everything is folded flat. Now, a 4-hour session, I don't think you can do on a Zoom easily. But still, I would not be too worried about the Zoom or Skype. Give it a 90-95% even. You can still read people properly. You can look at body language. You can have rapport, all those things. And the caucus rooms is actually really great to do. So it's not too worried about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Anyone else? I know from our experience in the Netherlands, it's been a very useful tool, and at the same time, we've also seen people going back to the regular mediations. And even despite Corona, it's still possible to get back to them. You just maintain distance and take the proper precautions. You know, we've done that in our office now as well. But that works quite well as well, and that's quite manageable as well. So Zoom definitely works. And if there are clients like with Willy that you said, you know, if you have to get together, then that should slowly start becoming possible, as long as you take the right precautions and just be careful. Okay. If no one else has anything to share on that, Teresa, how do we build CPD points in South Africa as a mediator? Is there any tips you want to give on that?
Yes, I've actually I want to share a screen here. There is. If you go to our website, you will actually see, when you go to About Us, go to Downloads, that everything that you ever wanted to know about ADR is here. And if you go down, you will see the rules. I also shared this on the chat section there. So all the rules for CPD is here. What you need to do, how it works, you know, and how you can actually obtain it. So it's quite simple to go through all these documents, and everything is there. Anything that you really wanted to know is summed up there. But I think in South Africa, it is a bit different in that with CPD, we don't always have the same options that you have in Europe. But what we're finding is that people are using their time by doing a lot of research, drafting a document, having it published. If it's the moment it's published, that goes for CPD. If you have a talk on a radio about mediation, you can use that for CPD. We're finding that women are actually going to women's mornings where they have tea and cake and they talk about mediation and how it works, so that mothers, single moms understand what mediation is. That every hour is 1 point. So that will count for your CPD. So there's various ways of being innovative in obtaining the CPD. And if you have something you want to do and you're not sure, then just give me a call. But mostly it's all set out in those documents.
A very effective CPD activity is organizing intervision yourself. So simply get together with 3 or 4 mediators, or live or over Zoom, and talk about your practice, talk about your issues, talk about integrity, and develop yourself by being interactive in a group of 3 or 4 people. It's very, very high value at CPD.
Yeah.
Just another question quickly. Teresa, I have a need for more collaboration, I would say, with co-mediators, because mediation is not my first call. I'm a business coach doing corporate executive coaching and these things. And then from time to time, I do get that, and then I do the mediation. But what will help me is to know of, let's assume the client is in Randburg, for example. Then I've got a corporate client doing coaching, and now it's got a marriage problem as well. And then I need actually a mediator to where I can be more the co-mediator, not the main mediator, or maybe not the mediator at all. So I haven't really browsed a lot on ADR. So I suppose if I look at your website, I should just do it. Can I see where are mediators? So if you need somebody, or is it easier to just phone you, Teresa? Or otherwise, over time, we can start knowing more about each other.
Yeah, no, you're more than welcome to call me. You're more than, I'm available 24/7. So you're more than welcome to call me. My cell number is also sent out to most of you. But yes, if you browse, you can put in a specialism like in, you know, maintenance or whatever it is you're looking for. And if people are maintaining their profiles, you will be able to see someone, for instance, in Randburg or in Centurion or wherever. But I don't think people are really working enough on the profiles, and I can't stress that enough. That's quite important to work on your profile and make sure that people will find you.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing that people that are really or sat down and actually did something on their profile, for instance, career coach, to give you an example. If someone is looking for a career coach, they quickly find there's 2 or 3 on our website that's a career coach. They find them very quickly and they get work from that. So it's really important, although that's not the purpose for us to create work, you know, or find you work, but it does assist. So you can give me a call and you will most probably find on the website areas that you're looking for, whether it be on the speciality field or then the geographical.
Yeah, so for the address, you can just search. So it'll index everything. So if you search on Randburg, you'll find everyone there. Same with Centurion or Cape Town or whatever you enter. So you will be able to search on that. It doesn't show you a map, but it will just, if someone has Randburg in their profile somewhere, it'll match that, and it'll show you that mediator.
Teresa, you are in South Africa, eh? Are you in South Africa?
Yes, I'm in Johannesburg.
Johannesburg, okay, thank you.
Yes,
correct.
Yeah, so completely accessible at all times.
Yeah,
thank you.
Okay. Is there anything anyone else wants to know? We don't have any more questions in the chat. And Jackie, yeah.
Yeah, one gentleman. I'm also on the panel of Conflict Dynamics, the commercial club, and they've been actively promoting people that are coming through their courses to accredited through the IMI. And when I asked them about it, they said that I should do that through ADR Register. So I'm a bit confused because is it actually worthwhile becoming accredited through the IMI? And if so, why would I have to go through you guys? So that wasn't entirely clear to me. Because apparently I could have gone through the University of Stellenbosch, I think. But Conflict Dynamics said, no, you're already an ADR certified mediator, so you should approach ADR.
So IMI works through a system of QAPs, and I'll let Robert explain that, but essentially it means that they delegate how they do their assessments to separate bodies. So for example, us, so we are on the website of the IMI as a QAP, which means with us, the full certifieds can then become IMI certified, and you have to then go through one of those QAPs. But Robert, I'm sure you'll be willing to explain that procedure.
I'm not quite sure if I do understand the question correctly, but from my point of understanding, you can select your own QAP and you simply qualify by that QAP to become IMI certified.
Okay. Well, my question was actually, is there any point in becoming IMI certified or registered? Certified. And then that's actually my biggest question. Is there any point doing that? Is there any value in doing that? Or is just being certified with you guys enough?
Well, I think Jackie, that's quite an interesting question, and it depends on how the IMI will develop in the near future. From my perspective, they are now simply a well-known and good organized international mediation institute However, without a lot of certified members. I mean, they have approximately 400 certified mediators after 15 years of work.
Yeah.
So that was not quite successful. However, they are active in over 100 countries, and they're very good in spreading the news and the facts about mediation. So that's their business. They are in the middle of a discussion now how to continue. Do we want to be the international register, and can we simply implement all the registers from the QAPs, which is an interesting suggestion and option, but not yet organized. So for now, if you see the register is only approximately about 400 certified mediators, the effect is, well, not very huge if you become IMI certified. But if they change that role and position, it might be in the future.
Thank you, Robert.
The only thing I can say by today, because this is the situation by today.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so, and is there anyone, just gonna ask it again, if there's anything anyone else wants to know, mag ook in het Nederlands, feel free. If not, then we're gonna start rounding it off. No, okay. Not a problem. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for joining. I think everyone was quite active, and I hope we managed to get through all the questions. If there is anything that you might want to ask later on, that's not a problem. You can just reach out to Teresa or Robert or me. This is something that jumps in the back of your head. Like I said, we recorded this, so you can go back and watch it if there's a particular question, or if you just want to go back and watch your question for the record. I want to thank everyone for joining, and have a nice rest of the week, and have a nice day. Ja, dank jullie allemaal dat jullie er waren. Ik hoop dat jullie vragen hebben kunnen beantwoorden. Zo niet, dan kun je altijd mij of Robert nog altijd bellen of mailen. Dan doen we het achteraf.
Dankjewel, Giel. Dankjewel, Robert. Teresa.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Close it off now.
Have a nice day. Bye. Bye.
Bye.